Okay, so I am logged in as Fitzy here, and the first thing I'm going to say is the selection. The token that you have selected will always have the orange border around it. If you have a familiar, you can switch between it, but otherwise you cannot select other tokens that do not belong to you. You can click on them, but you can't select them. When I want to target something, I will hover my mouse over that token. Let's say Findog wants to target this loot goblin here to prepare to shoot it. The shortcut key for target is T. So when I press T, you see these target things appear over it. And pressing again will take them off. And if you want to target more than one, you hold Shift and then press T. And then it will just add more and more targets of what you want to do. And then take them off. Alright, the next shortcut I use all the time is Shift C. C as in Charlie. Shift C will always bring up your chat window up wherever it is. So if you have something hiding it, or if you have the combat things, press Shift C will take you to what's going on in these cards over here that show damage and other people's text. And another thing I like to do is I like to press F11, function key 11, and what that does is expands the window to the width of my monitor, gives you a bit more play space to look at, zoom everything in. Alright, and the final thing I'm going to do in this short video is show you guys a couple of shortcuts I use to make combat run a little bit faster that you guys can do as well. So, with my token I want selected, pressing just Charlie will open up your character sheet from wherever you are. You don't even need to have it on your screen. You can just press Charlie and there it goes. And you can drag any of these things that you see, features, inventory, spells, onto your hotbar at the bottom here. If you have an empty hotbar at the bottom, and that's a good way to put things that you use all the time. So, for example, I'm going to say Findog typically casts Hunter's Mark, so he uses Hunter's Mark all the time, so I'm going to hold and drag Hunter's Mark onto 1, let go, you see how it makes an icon over here, and then after doing Hunter's Mark, he will use his bow on the target. His bow is called the Tears of Geridian. I'm going to do that. Boop. And he sometimes casts Cure Wounds on himself. So I'm going to go to the spells and drag Cure Wound all the way to here. Okay, so let's say we're in combat and Findog is trying to finish off this loot goblin to get its loot before it runs away. So having himself selected with the orange border, he will mouse over this loot goblin, press T to target it, then he'll press 1 for Hunter's Mark, and in here he wants just to mark it, so you click Mark Creature. I won't consume the spell slot here, and you see that it broadcasts the spell onto the chat box, letting me know that he cast it, and then press 2 or hit the hotkey and press attack. And over here you can see that the attack roll was 16 and the damage is 7. You can press attack again. Very quickly roll another attack roll. And then the third thing you can do is roll the Hunter's Mark damage. You can come in here and type R1d6, but what you can do is click into these hotkeys, and each one is a macro. You can there's two types of macros. One is chat, the simpler one, and more complicated script allows you to write in HTML and JavaScript. And I have these, when you create macros, they're unique to each user that's logged in, and over here is the macros. And in preparation for this, I created two macros that I'm going to drag on over Hunter's Mark script, Hunter's Mark macro, and you can right click edit macro to see what the code is on the inside, and you can say execute macro over here to test it out. And this simple macro is just rolling in d6 and calling it Hunter's Mark damage, and you can click into here to see that it just rolled a 6. And that's the chat version. The script version is a little bit more nerdy, but it does the same thing. The script version allows you to the technical term is interface with any exposed hooks, which means it lets you like edit, call out a whole bunch of different variables and statistics underneath each of the tokens. So you can use every single variable that's on your character sheet that you have ownership over, like your proficiency bonus, your wisdom modifier, your language, anything. It's a pretty deep rabbit hole, but one thing I like to do is I like to go into ChatGPT and I tell it that I'm in Foundry VTT. I tell it what I want it to do. I ask it to give me a code snippet, and I just put it into the macro. So the whole thing is, so instead of digging through your character sheet, all these tabs looking for what you want to do, you can easily pull out the most common things that you do into your hotkey, so you don't have to search for them. A little less common things that you do, but still that you do a lot. So for example, for Findog, sometimes he casts Zephyr Strike when he does not want to be in melee range. What you can do is you can hold and drag these abilities onto under your favorites. See how it pops out over there? It's another way for it to be easier to see instead of digging through every single thing you can do. And the last thing, let's say he wants to heal Alamar. He's unharmed. He wants to heal Kelton. So there's two methods of moving your token, and you switch through them by pressing the hotkey R. R is in Romeo. And when you press R on the selection mode and drag, it will move your cursor, and then it will create a little note of how much movement speed that movement will cost. And then if you press R again, toggle, it will change it into a measuring ruler, so you can tell how far away things are without actually moving your token. And for calculations, for distance, it's always center of the tile to center of the tile. Finally, I'm going to switch back to selection here. If you hold Control and Control and then left click and drag, you can create these waypoints by pressing left mouse button. So what that allows you to do is to draw a waypoint of what you would like to move in a turn, and each point on the waypoint here, it will tell you how much movement you've used overall. And once your line turns yellow, it means that you have exceeded your normal movement speed, and now you have to dash in order to get there. Once you're happy with that, go ahead and press let go of Control and press left click, and your token will move along that path. So it will do your entire movement in one smooth setting without confusing how much movement you have used. Let's say you moved over here, and then you realize this waypoint is bad because moving this way will trigger attack of opportunity. You press right mouse button when you're still holding Control, and it will remove a waypoint. Okay, so hold down Control, move, left click to create these waypoints. If you made a mistake, right click to go back to the last waypoint. Alright, in this instance, Findog wants to move next to Kelton. He wants to target Kelton, so I'm hovering over his token, pressing T. You see these target things come up. And he wants to cast Cure Wounds. Again, I'm going to not use the spell slot here. And you can see that it automatically rolls everything together. And you can edit the stats of any token that you have selection over. So let's say Findog, instead of casting this Cure Wounds on Kelton, he casts it on himself. Then he can select his token, make sure that orange border is right next to him, and then hit the little heart button here. And you see that a +8 appears over Findog, and he gets healed. So when players do that, it helps me out. It decreases the load of the different actions I have to do on the scene. So if you can modify it, edit it yourself. That's 64. Similarly, if you right-click the token, a whole bunch of things comes out over here. You can do -8 here, or for losing 8 hit points, +8 to gain 8 hit points, 8 to set the hit points to 8 wherever you are. You can edit your elevation up here, and you can go into assign status effect. You can assign status effect into all of these different status effects that might happen to your character. Alright, this is just a quick little tutorial over here to how to control your character using a couple of useful shortcuts. I will make more of these over time. Alright, see you later.